So starting at number 5, we have the New Orleans Saints, who are down a spot. To be fair, they still beat up on a hyped Tampa Bay team, but at the same time, I see them as this because they may have won, but other teams look better. And I was never that hot on the Tampa Bay Bucks to begin with. They weren't even a playoff team in my mind. So it wasn't a statement game like a lot of people made it out to be. Your take on this, though?
I don't understand how one of the early favorites to win the NFC wins by two scores against a division rival with all the hype, with
It's just
a 40
hype. It's
plus.
not real.
Dude,
It's just
they're
hype.
the Bucks are a good team. They're going to be a good team going forward, I think. But here's the problem I have with this power rankings and this shift is you face a division rival. You beat them by two scores and you move them down one. What is your basis off of
My
that? I
base
mean,
is the
I don't
next team though.
understand.
My base is the next team because we have the Green Bay Packers who overperformed more than anyone thought. This Vikings team was honestly this defense was way more hyped than the Bucks defense ever was.
Yeah.
And the Packers go out and they just drop a deuce on them. Aaron Rodgers makes everyone regret anything they said. There's a lot of people saying that there's always been like over the last 10 years or whatever the stat is, one of the four teams that actually makes it to championship weekend doesn't
Mm.
make the playoffs the next year. A lot of people said that was the Packers. The Packers go shut everyone up. They go from unranked to number 4 this week. That's why. It's not nothing
Yeah,
that the Saints necessarily did bad. I think the Packers overperformed.
I think they did too, but I don't see the merit in putting the Saints down one and putting the Packers above them
Where the
when
Roger
they
Packers 5 and then Saints 4.
yeah, I mean, I just think that the Packers they won by the same margin in a very similar situation, a division rival at home, won by two scores, 9 and 11 points. It's not that
So
big
I
of a
like the
difference.
Packers. I mean, who cares about home field advantage? Because I guess that's not a thing anymore. But they were on the road. Do you want to give merit to
Yeah,
that or?
I don't know. I think that this Packers team has, they have a lot of promise, but the defense got abused. The
Mm-hmm.
defense got exposed. Kirk Cousins is not an upper echelon quarterback, and he made Adam Thielen look like he was Calvin Johnson in this game. And I don't agree with this ranking
Mm-hmm.
at all. I think the Packers are a good team. I think
Mm-hmm.
they're a top 10 team in the league, but I don't see the top four type of talent that this Packers team has, and I think you're going to see that over the next couple weeks. But as week two power
Mm-hmm.
rankings go, these are subject to change, and it's going to change.
It's 100% going to change. Number
Mhm.
3, I had the Seahawks moving up 2 spots. This I know you had something to say about this. It was mostly because their offense was clicking on all levels. Russell Wilson, MVP caliber right there. Chris Carson looking really, really good out of the backfield. Maybe not as a runner, but as a pass catcher, he was making a lot of plays. DK Metcalf can still take the roof off of a defense if he wants to actually catch the ball because Russell Wilson, like I mentioned, 4 touchdowns, 4 incompletions, with 2 of them being drops. Now, to be fair, the place where they were lacking was their defense because they gave up 450 yards to Matt Ryan, 2 touchdowns. But 1 touchdown and about 200 yards was garbage time when they were just playing prevent defense and just letting them dink and dunk all underneath them. Then Jamal Adams was making huge, huge plays for them. I really like what that defense can do, and if they actually played a full game, they would not have given that up to the Falcons. That's why I had them number 3.
I think this is first off a bad take. I mean, this is just not the right ranking for this team. They gave up 25 points and 450 pass yards to an offense that, granted, is a good offense, but for a team that is supposed to be, you know, put the weight of the game on Russell Wilson's shoulders, let him go perform. And I just don't think that this team has the makeup of a top three team in the NFL. And here's my hot take of the week. I think they are the third best team in the NFC West, not the third best team in the NFL.
You know what? That is pretty spicy. If I had to rate that, I would give you a solid habanero right there, Chief.
I think that the Rams are the third best team in the NFL right now. The
The
way that they
Rams or the
performed, and I think that the way that their starting lineup is formed right now, their defense at every single level has an incredible talent. Their offense, when it's clicking the right way and their offensive line is blocking the way that they do, I mean, 40 rushes for 153 yards and 2 touchdowns is it's not a great average, but they grinded out this game. Their play action game was incredible. Jared Goff, when he gets in rhythm and he's throwing those crossing routes to Woods, to Cup, to Higbee, to all these guys, and you don't have to, give the ball to Todd Gurley 25 times because you feel obligated anymore. You can give the ball to Cam Akers. You
now
can give
that's
the
the
ball to
Falcons
Malcolm
probably.
Brown. Yeah, and that's the thing is I think that the Rams are just a significantly better team than the Seahawks right now, and I think you'll see this when they play each other.
I'm
later
really
down the
looking
road.
forward to that matchup. Whenever it
Me
is,
too. Me too.
it's going to show who the real team is, who's a pretender and who's a contender, without a doubt. But now
Agreed.
I think these top two teams are a little less of takes. I think they're a little more agreeable. I have the
Agreed.
Chiefs at the number 2 spot, down one from the previous ranking, because they put on a good game against
Yep.
the Texans, of course. Not a good team. Neither are the Browns. For I'll say right now the
Playoff team
Ravens
from
are the
last year.
best. Yeah, they are a playoff team though,
Yeah.
and they're respectable. I was expecting a little more from the Chiefs. To be fair, Clyde Edwards-Helaire did look amazing in his debut. They hardly pushed the ball downfield, and they're still making a lot of plays. But to me, the number one team was the Ravens, and that's why they jumped the Chiefs, because I think they just played a more complete game, and they put more of a they made a bigger statement in Week 1, I believe.
Agreed. And I think this is just a case of the Ravens are an incredible regular season team. They're going to put up
Mm-hmm.
the numbers. They're going to go 14-2, 13-3. They have the offense to grind you out. They have a defense that's aggressive enough to create some turnovers. And when you give Lamar Jackson some extra possessions, he's going to put points on the board. And they're going to be 1-2 all year. The Chiefs and the Ravens, I think, have the two best quarterbacks in the NFL, the two
Mm-hmm.
best offenses in the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to show that in the regular season. What it's going to really come down to is who's going to show up in the playoffs.
Also, who's going to
think
play our
that's the
defense,
Chiefs.
which is why
Yeah,
I think it's the Ravens. But of course, this one too, it's really more 1A and 1B.
exactly. These two teams are even, and it's the big thing that I kind of
Like
took away
the
from
reason
week
they were
one.
top, it's like this much. That's why they barely
Yeah.
moved up. It's like they edged them out barely. It's a
Yeah,
toss up.
and I think it doesn't matter who's 1 and 2 throughout the year.
No.
But what I really picked up from week one was that there's such a big gap between these two teams and the rest of the NFL that these teams are on a collision course again for a deep playoff run, and it's going to take a lot of convincing for me to believe that there's going to be a third team to contend with these two at the top of the
I
NFL.
think the biggest shame is that these teams can't have a Super Bowl with each other.
I know.
Think that's
I know.
the worst thing.
Sucks.
Is what it is. But there you go. The Saints, Packers, Seahawks, Chiefs, Ravens. With Alex saying that the Rams should actually be the third best team in the NFL. Already losing on the Cowboys. Damn, no loyalty to the Cowboys whatsoever.
They're 6.
It's a
They're
shame.
6.
No, no.
They might be 5.
They
I
might
think
as
the
well.
Packers
They're
are out.
unranked, is
The
what that
Packers
is.
are out.
You're either
The
top
Packers are
5
out.
or you're nothing. And the worst
Yeah, the
team
Packers
in
should
the
be out.
league right now after week 1, it's the Cleveland Browns.
Or the Jets. Two guys that are the two top picks in the quarterback class that was supposed to be so highly touted are
Okay,
weirdly
Alex,
the
here
two
we go.
worst teams
Before
in
we
the
end
NFL.
this, put you on the spot like you did. Who would you rather have as your franchise quarterback, Baker Mayfield or Sam Darnold?
Baker Mayfield, he's going to at least get some ticket sales.
There we go.